Hello everyone, Impiator here, and welcome back to my Let's Play for Factorio. This is part 4. So in the last episode, we got mass science, and we got steel production underway. We also began the process of military or black science, and we've got our red armor-piercing ammo being created, which that requires, as well as our grenades as well. And what's left is going to be walls. However, I think it's time for us to go ahead and build our first car, because we have the ingredients now to do that. Let's see. What do we want to load up in the car? Let's go for ammo. Let's go for half of our gun turrets. Some radars, some electric mining drills, some splitters, some underground belts. We're going to need coal. We need more coal, actually, than that. That should be fine. And then we'll go ahead and dump in here all of our transport belts. Collect a little bit more of that. Get half a box of that. Some of that, some of that, some of that, some of that. And we have a lot of copper plates. Let's go use up some of these copper plates. Also, we have a thing of this in my inventory. I'm not quite sure why. Let's see. Let's dump copper plates. Alright, that's greatly limited now. Let's dump that in there. We also got this. We don't really need any more of these. In fact, it's probably time for us to go ahead and transition to steel furnaces, at least for our steel production. So this will double our steel production, which will start making use of the second row that we have coming into kind of this section here. So we are going to get a lot more steel output going. Alright, so let's see. Definitely gonna want to put some of those in there, some of those, half of those would be a good idea. Some repair packs. Let's actually make more repair packs. Yeah, we'll do that. Put in half of those. Okay. I think we are good. So in this episode, we're going to need to start getting into trains. So we're going to need to kind of figure out exactly how we want to prep that. Oh boy. Well, that's a problem. We are running out of power much faster than I thought we would. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically push everything to the left here, and then once the left is full, then it will start filling back up this. That's probably because of my steel, and you know what? It's probably because of all of our radars. Let's go ahead and start tearing down some of these radars, then we'll worry about getting some additional resources. And I think we're also going to go ahead and flesh this out real quick. Yeah, let's do that now while we're trimming away some of the fat. Just going to rearrange this because there is some more that we can get here. Okay, cool. And I think what we'll do is we'll join this up like this. Let's do that. So we still want to have a few of these just to make sure that we are safe. Put one right there, and we'll put one down here. Okay, let's go see how our electricity is doing real quick. Oh, it looks like we have research to do. So landfill allows us to fill in water. Obviously, that means we can't suck water from the lakes anymore, but it allows us to slowly fill in water if we want to create more ground. Electronic circuit or circuit network is not something I use very much in this game. I'm still, I guess, kind of a newbie in that regard. There's a few things that you can use it for, like closing gates whenever there's trains coming in. But if you're paying attention to what you're doing, you can just, walk through the gate. You can have gates which will open on their own whenever you get near them. We've also got oil gathering. We want that. Lab research speed. I don't know that we're going to use solar energy. I don't usually use solar energy because it takes up a whole bunch of space for how little it actually produces. But it doesn't create pollution, so that is one thing that's beneficial. So we'll go ahead and do that. Eventually we're just going to do all of the research, but that's the order I guess we'll go ahead and complete them in. And it looks like we are good now. Okay, so let's plan out what we're going to do here. Should love myself some driving distance there. Okay, so we are going to need iron sticks. And the reason why we're going to need iron sticks is because we need bigger electric poles. We need bigger electric poles. And these both require the same ingredients of different amounts. We're going to need both of them. The big electric poles, the actual big ones, they will stretch across long distances, which is especially useful for trains. And then the mediums will just give us more size. We'll also want to make rails, and those also require iron sticks. So let's do this. We're gonna dump them, I think, over here. Actually, you know what? No, let's buffer them for now. Nah, Now these produce so fast, there's no need to buffer them. Never mind. So notice how fast these things get generated. I'm putting 2 output, by the way, because it creates 2 sticks at a time. Okie dokie. And then we're going to want to get this rearranged. So eventually, let me don't do that. Eventually, we're going to have a route that goes this way. We're also going to have another one that goes here, and then we're going to have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that how many? Yes. 1, 2, oops. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to have this. So this is actually going to be our blue science setup. And it's going to have engine units being created here. Engine units are one of the core components for blue science. Once we start researching that. And the way I like to do this is we're going to have the output on the right-hand side here. And then we're going to have this belt basically perfectly undercut the bottom of this area over here. And then this is going to be where we produce both, or lay down anyway, both our black and our blue science to be pulled up by our science machines, our labs. So I think that's how we're going to do that. You know what? I really don't want this to interact with these. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Okay, so that will give me plenty of room, and then we'll go ahead and put back our box right there. We're going to keep making these. Again, box only needs 2. Let's put back in some of these. Okay, so we're going to be pulling this down. And then we need to pull this down. So I want to split. Let's see. I want to do it this way, I guess. No, that's on the outside. I can't do it that way. Bah. We're we're not going to be using this little section here. I'm thinking we'll go ahead and run this down this way, maybe? Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do it this way. We're going to place... these are going to be copper plates. We're going to output that. Ah, that's how we're going to do it. Okay. So that will get us copper plates. As well as copper cables. Okay, then what we will do, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need rails. So I'm thinking what we will do is that. Again, it's not Factorio if you're not making spaghetti in your first, your initial base, I should say. Alright, so then we're going to need that. Actually, no, I want that on this row here, so let's do that. Yes, that'll be good. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do it this way. So again, I'm a little bit, my normal, usual order of doing things here is a little off because I don't usually make this stuff this early, so again, we're running out of resources, so I'm like, I kind of need to do it now. And then I think we're going to go ahead and output those. Those. Chest. We need steel. So we need input right there. These also need steel. Let's do that. So we're going to limit each of these to that. We're going to need 2 locomotives, one for each end of a train. We're going to need 3 large wagons. Let's see, I need more iron gear wheels and plates. More steel. We're also going to need 2 train stops, one for source and destination. And we're going to need a lot of steel chests. In fact, we're going to go ahead and grab steel from up here. because we're going to need a lot of steel chests. Especially once we start doing a lot more of this train stuff. Oh, research is done. Let's go ahead and kick that, I guess, off. We will do oil processing after we get black science underway. And we're pretty close to getting black science underway. So we're going to go ahead and build 4 sets of walls. And these things require a lot of inputs, so we're going to do 4 inputs per. In fact, we could probably increase the performance of the inputs by doing this. Let's do... Alright, and then kind of the vision that I've got here is... We're not going to need a whole lot of these, so I'm not going to worry about joining belts together, but... I guess we could do it that way. Let's do it that way. Actually, that's not going to work because whenever our blue science is created, it's going to be on the outside of the belt. Coming on the outside of the belt. If I were to join these together, I'm going to be building this side of the belt, which will end up on, again, the bottom side of the belt. Yeah. So we're going to have to do that instead. That's okay, though. We're not going to produce enough of these to justify fixing it. Alright, how do I want to do this? Oh, shoot. I just realized that is actually in the way. Okay, we're going to have to deal with that first. So that's actually going to come through the center. We're going to end up creating 4... 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. That's going to be black science. And they're actually going to buffer whatever is left. So we're going to tack that on. Drop that into a chest. Okay, that should be good. So now we need to figure out our output. I think we'll go ahead and do this. And this. Actually, you know what? We'll interrupt this instead. There we go. That will be our output. So we're not going to need that many of these science types because there's not a whole lot of black science to do in the game. But that is black science. So let's kick off defenders, storage, stronger explosions, physical projectile damage, weapon shooting speed's always good. Robot followers. I'm not really invested in the order of these, so that's okay. Let's not have that completely fill. Let's empty out some of what we've got in inventory before we head out and start dealing with our power problem. Real quick, are we running out of... Yes, we are. So we're going to go ahead and increase the throughput. Oh, we are running out. Ooh, it's gonna stink. Alright, let's go pick up the car, actually. So we're officially running out to keep our base running. Power will maintain because I prioritized power. But we have insufficient amounts of coal to continue with our base as is. So let's go ahead and... we're going to equalize the output. Anymore. Yeah, we're burning through all of our resources quite quickly. Really expected to have more power poles than that. You know what? We're not producing enough. Ah, okay. Well, that we can fix. Actually, know what? No, we need to stop that. Okay, so that's just simply a problem of not having enough of these. Okay, I was worried that we were slowing down because of my lack of power. Alright, so we got plenty of rails. We're going to go ahead and dump a bunch of those into the car. Bunch of these into the car. Let's do half of the ammo. Actually, we're going to go ahead and trade out that ammo for this ammo. Oh, I actually picked up a bunch of stuff, didn't I? Did not mean to do that. So, drop in half those, half those, half those. Half of those. I think... more coal should be good. Half of those. Most of those. Okay, I think we have the necessities. So we're going to start. I think we're going to start with this side. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring in coal up here, I think. And we're just going to have that augment the existing coal, but prioritize our existing coal. That way we run out of this stuff before we run out of the remote stuff. We need a little bit of a stretch of straight, and then we're going to go ahead and drop in a Vegeta train stop. Let's see. We'll go ahead and drop in the train stop, and then we'll go ahead and drop in a train. 3 train cars, and that should be good. We are going to need some coal for this, though. We will pick up coal on the opposite side to fill us up, so I think we'll be good there. And then we're going to dump the output into those. And then we're going to use kind of the cheater's way for this, but to balance. The reality is we want to pull out an equal amount at a time. We're going to prioritize input priority of our existing coal. this. Keep that on the bottom row. We're largely going to be replacing those with these. Okay. And I guess we'll go ahead and put these on the... Oh, did I dump... No, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to collect more, not dump more. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start working towards a new source of coal. And to be fair, this isn't even that far away. We certainly could do a really, really long belt. It just feels stupid to do that. Alright, we'll go ahead and... Alright. So we got plenty. No, we don't. Well, that's okay. We'll do electric poles, I suppose. We now have the ability to manipulate our train, though, so we're going to set up Vegeta to empty cargo. We're going to set up Sir Blood King. These are randomly generated names, by the way. So that it has full cargo. And then we're going to automate. So now that train's going to come this way. We can actually ride it back if we need to. Alright, so that will be insert. We'll go ahead and give both of these some additional output. Okay. Alright, so it's good I had enough electric poles. Sweet. Don't get run over by your vehicles. That's a bad thing. So we got a biter nest pretty close to us too. We're probably gonna have to deal with them right as we get this kicked off, because they're close enough, I think, that they're probably going to be affected by the pollution here. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is we got 3 fairly long rows, 2 fairly short rows. I think we're going to combine short ones. Oh, that's going to be irritating. And they're actually going to split this again. We're going to need more roads. We're going, we don't need roads. I wish that were the case right now. You know what? We'll do this one over here. This one over here. Since this one is such a long one, we'll make this one the loner. Okay, let's go ahead and get us power set up. I don't think I like these for this any more than I like the normal small electric poles. They don't really seem to have that great a distance to them. Alrighty, so we have that problem solved. We are set for automatic. Yes, you can see that starting to fill. Alright, so let's go take out some bases. Let's save real quick first. YouTube 4. We're sitting at 48 minutes right now. We're going to go a little bit longer. So this particular approach works really well on flat land without any rocks. It also works really well once you've got tanks, because tanks can basically just run through anything. Unfortunately, this car will literally stop at every single juncture, every single thing that you hit. And oftentimes I will save multiple times because this thing is basically like a glass cannon. And we are pushing pollution pretty close to them too. Let's go ahead and knock out that base as well. And this base has a whole bunch of stuff. Let's, well, we need to consume our firearm magazine so we can start fully switching to piercing rounds, so I'm thinking we'll go ahead and use this method. Alright, how about this other base? This one's pretty small. Okay. Ah, here comes our train. Sweet. To the rescue. Absolutely. Yeah, look at that. We're running really low. So that's gonna be very nice. Let's see, how fast are these unloading? Pretty slow. We can help these get buffered a little faster. This train on its way. There we go. Trying to get a equal amount coming out of all three of these would be nice. So we are still prioritizing all of this stuff ahead of this stuff. So that way we should run out of this before we use too much of this. Go some additional places to work. So I think it's time for us to go ahead and expand this. To the full 20 on both sides. All right. And actually, we're going to go ahead and we're going to need a lot more boilers. So I'm thinking we'll go ahead and start into using our final row of ore. So that's 24. And what this will end up doing is getting us some requirements for kicking off. And in fact, we're going to need to do this again, but this will be for copper. Actually, we're going to tuck these away there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we're going to be building here is going to be a mass number of boilers. Boilers require lots of furnaces, so I'm actually not going to power this one on the left yet, because I want to use up all of the stone furnaces and start replacing everything here with steel furnaces. So let's put an output on that. Oh, that's already got power. Never mind. And we'll do this. We're gonna buffer. We don't need to buffer that many. We are out. Okay, that's going to start that process. These are going to be pipes. These will eventually be stone furnaces. These are going to be gear wheels. Actually, not gear wheels, I'm sorry. These are going to be pipes. These are going to be gear wheels. And then we're going to run this all the way down here. We're going to need to end it here so that we can still feed our machines. Oops. So again, this is going to eventually be our blue science. In order to trigger blue science, we're going to need to start into oil processing, which is going to be what we're going to do starting in the next episode. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.